From News19, I'm meteorologist Daniel Bonds. Here's a high-resolution satellite loop of Hurricane Dorian. You can kind of see that eye forming, so it is a powerful hurricane. It is expected to maybe gain a little bit more strength throughout the rest of the day. Here's an enhanced satellite image. It is starting to become a little bit better organized. Unfortunately, that is bad news there. You notice those last couple of scans, you can see the eye very well. Look right about there, you start to see that eye, and that's bad news there as this storm continues to get a little bit stronger. Here's the 11 o'clock update from the Hurricane Center. It does have winds of 110 miles per hour with gusts up to 130. Moving towards the northwest at 10 miles per hour. It's about 480 miles east of the northwestern Bahamas. There are hurricane watches in effect for the Bahamas. No watches or warnings for the mainland of the United States as of yet, but that will likely change as we work our way through the rest of today and certainly as we go into the weekend. So here's the forecast. One thing you'll notice, becomes a major hurricane maybe sometime today or early tomorrow morning, up to maybe a Category 4 as it pushes towards Florida, and then you'll see a pronounced kind of turn towards the north, and that's what we're going to be watching closely as the system turns towards the north. Notice here, this is Wednesday morning, so this is going to be around for quite some time. A little bit of a closer view shows it making landfall somewhere along the Florida coast and then making that turn towards the north, and as we mentioned, that's when we're going to have to pay close attention to, for our weather at least. Here are the spaghetti plots in pretty good agreement through the next couple of days. It's when that turn occurs, and notice most of them kind of turn this thing up towards the north. Some indications are it's going to turn towards the north and then make a quick turn towards the north and east. That would be good news for us. So again, we're not out of the woods as of yet, but certainly we're not under the gun like they are in Florida. Here's a little bit of closer look at the spaghetti plots. Notice all of them have that turn. It's just that question of when this turn does occur and will it impact our weather. So a lot of questions still answered, but right now it looks like it is going to make a major impact towards South Florida. Here's our American model. I'll step out here and show you how things are expected to play out, at least according to the GFS or the American model. And notice it does make a landfall here in Florida. It looks like Monday, Labor Day, late Labor Day night. And then it takes this big turn. As we mentioned, that's what we're going to be watching, this big turn. The European model does basically the same thing. Here it comes, it makes a landfall at some point on Monday and then makes this big turn towards the north and then eventually towards the north and east. And notice that's where this forecast uncertainty cone does come into play. There still is some uncertainty with this forecast. Here's our in-house or RPM model. Obviously we look at that as well, and notice it stays basically in line with the Hurricane Center's forecast. It only goes out to about Sunday, so we can't go quite as far out, but you will notice it is in line with the National Hurricanes forecast as well. As far as tropical storm wind chances, obviously those chances are increasing tremendously for Florida. Right now, a 96% chance for West Palm Beach. Obviously, that is where the crosshairs are pointed, if you will, towards Florida. And certainly there will be that chance for tropical storm force winds farther north as well in parts of Florida. Hurricane force winds, again, Florida is under the gun. Pretty good chance for hurricane force winds down in South Florida. Now rainfall is going to be another issue. So it's going to be storm surge, it's going to be heavy strong winds, and then it's going to be heavy rainfall, especially for parts of Florida. But this is the European model, and you notice we wouldn't get too caught up in the numbers. The heaviest amount of rain is to our south and into portions of our coast. Again, this is only one forecast model. The GFS is doing basically the same thing, keeping the heavier rain towards our south, but still maybe some heavier activity along the coast. So still something we're going to be watching. Biggest things though is going to be heavy downpours, especially for Florida. They're going to have the storm surge obviously and those hurricane force winds. So key messages for us, pay attention to reliable sources obviously. Southeast still needs to watch this closely, especially for the flooding rains, and this forecast will continue to change. So the Dorian key messages, now this is mainly for Florida right now, prolonged hazardous weather for Florida, life-threatening storm surge, hurricane force winds, and heavy rain, flash flooding is going to be possible with the storm. So still a lot going on. We're not out of the woods as of yet, but we're certainly not under the gun like Florida is. We'll bring you more updates on air and online as needed.